Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Dark Souls PvP series, which I'm entitling Building Ahab. This is a shorter introduction to another character that I have on my roster of PvP builds, and this is my dedicated pyromancer. So, one thing to bear in mind with this build when I'm trying to go for is this guy is completely unfinished at this moment in time. He does not have the dexterity to really be the pyromancer I want him to be, because right now his pyromancy is only, I think, 20, so the speed of my pyromancies is limited at best. I don't have all of the ones I'm going to use. Right there is a real bad idea. Never run around with your back to your opponent when it's lagging, because that happens. But what this video is supposed to show is me trying to focus on pyromancies rather than just going to what I normally do, which is this proclivity towards using melee and just, you know, getting in there, trying to parry, trying to exchange blows. And you'll notice it's a difficult transition for me, because as much as I do enjoy the pyromancies, as this guy heals, but you can't argue with that because it's a miracle, so that's okay in my book. But the problem that I have is, if you use nothing but pyromancies, a lot of people will complain. It's one of those classes that gets a lot of hate. And in my opinion, if you're using nothing but pyromancies with a dedicated pyromancer, you're doing it right. For me though, I do mix it up, mostly because I can't help it. I just like to get in there and swing my weapon. This guy bows, which is interesting because he has the NPC Solaire with him, and Solaire does a lot of damage and has a lot of life if you're an invader. Never underestimate the NPCs, because I was thinking, oh, it's just Solaire, he's probably a giant pussy. It turns out he's not. The guy can really hurt you, and you want to be careful. But all this is, at this moment in time, is me trying to get used to trying to throw pyromancies without lock-on, you know, get used to the speed of the pyromancies, all that kind of good stuff. Switching between my magics so that I can chain them, things of that nature. Just bringing a different direction in my PvP videos. And that right there could be considered as great combustion spam, which it was. But this is a pyromancy build. This is what he's designed to do, so it's just how it's going to work out. I do try to space my spells out and mix them up, but you can't argue the effectiveness of great combustion against a turtle. It's just so damaging. But a topic I want to talk about is I'm currently having problems with my editing software. I have a version on my laptop that I got from university, which works like a dream. It's perfect. It's where I did all my editing, and I can't seem to get that version of Adobe on this computer, because the one that I got, when I used the activation key that I got for my other copy, it didn't work. So I had to use various means of getting activation keys, and you know, you install the software, you put in the activation key, it says everything's great, and then when you come to use it again, it asks you for another activation key. And obviously this is to prevent piracy and all that good stuff, but only thing it's doing here is preventing me from making videos, which is exceptionally frustrating, because I do actually have the most recent version of Adobe, but it doesn't recognize any of the codecs or the sequences that any of my files are edited in, so I can't open the files. So it seems like everything is against me as I get owned with the second function of the Moonlight Greatsword. That was an interesting fight, because that guy was, you know, he was using his build well, and I was not using my build well at all. So I got what was given, and that was an ass pounding. But this is a funny one, because this is a dude and his friend co-oping, and they tried to gank me, and I'm a pyromancer. So my response to gankers with a pyromancer is to hit them with every spell that I have. So I lure them over to this Silver Knight to try and distract them, and then I hit them with a nice Fire Tempest that does 1,000 damage. Then from this I'm going to proceed to throw everything I have at you, because that's just how you should use a pyromancer. And the funny part about this is we have this engagement, and afterwards I get a message from this guy calling me a spammer. It's like, come on dude, you're using a fucking heavy greatsword and you're swinging it with R1. If I were to call you an R1 spammer, what is the difference? You're using the build you've made, I'm using the build I've made. And as much as people complain about fighting somebody who does spam spells, you need to experience those players. There's the message if you're wondering. Look at him. Almost immediately, the next invasion, boom, he wants to tell me how little skill I have, which is always adorable. But the thing to bear in mind, guys, is you need to fight somebody who uses pyromancies aggressively and has a wide variety of them. Why do you need to, you ask? Because you'll never learn how to fight them unless you do. That's the best thing about PvP in this game. Regardless of how much bullshit or how much you hate a certain setup, the more you fight it, the better you get against it. Like Wrath of Gods, when you first fight a Wrath of God spammer, it's the worst experience in the world because you're stunned, you're on the floor, you're getting hit, it's garbage. But the more you fight it, the more you realise it has weaknesses, and it has exploitable weaknesses, and it's just like pyromancies. Especially a pyromancer who doesn't have 45 dexterity, because my casting speed is significantly, longer than it would be at paramount level. So this is a good opportunity for these guys to fight somebody who is using aggressive spells. But one thing to bear in mind when you do come across people who gank like these guys is they're not interested in getting better. The reason they are co-oping, aside from, they want to have fun with their friends, is because they're the type of player that doesn't face challenges, that doesn't rise to the occasion, the type of person who gets help instead of helping themselves. And to an extent, there's nothing wrong with that, because I do believe not everybody can be good at everything. It's just how we're built. We are limited in our abilities. But you're never going to get better at Dark Souls by getting your buddy with the better equipment to kill everything for you. And this guy right now is about to find out why I, on paper, am a better PvP player than he is. Because now his friend is gone, he doesn't know what to do. And now it's one-on-one, and I realise he's wearing, probably the best armour to defend against fire. I have to start using my weapon. And we both have extremely bad PvP weapons on the surface. The scythe is better than the halberd because its strong attacks and its running attack are amazing. But the ones I'm using now, the R1 attacks, are very slow, they're very recovery heavy, they do leave you open, so we're both limited in our ability, as I get a kick there but I can't land the attack. And this becomes an interesting little dance because you'll notice he's slow rolling, so you can't give him much hate, but at the same time he ganked, so he deserves everything he gets. But I throw a pyromancy at him, it does nothing because he has really high fire resist. From now on I either have to land a parry or a backstab, or you'll notice I'm two-handing, but the lag means that I get phantom hits that don't connect, which is really frustrating. He wings an attack, I get him on the recovery with a backstab, and I'm probably going to charge an attack as he gets up. I mean, look at that, that was a hit, that, folks. I don't know how that didn't connect, aside from the usual lag and bullshit. And I give him the appropriate finger down, or point down as it's probably called. And this could be the last video of this series, or of this section, because there's 2 videos to the series. It's not a big one. You will see PvP from this character, but it'll be when he's fully leveled. So that guy was just finishing off Iron Tarkus, or the Tarkus wannabe. He has no interest in fighting fair. This guy just wants to kill me. You'll notice he's also wearing the Black Knight armour, I believe. He's got the Mask of the Father for his equip burden. He's got the Great Shield of Artorias. And he also has the Black Knight Great Axe, which, if I was playing this particular fight today, I would win this fight within a few strikes, because I can parry this weapon significantly better than I could in this video. And it's all thanks to playing in the forest, because everybody in the forest likes to gank, and all of the gankers love to use this weapon. So instead, I'm introducing this guy to my no lock-on high-speed scythe mentality. And, if it weren't as laggy, and if the gods weren't against me, I might have connected with a couple of these and made this much easier, but my fire spells aren't going to do anything because this guy is built to defend fire. And I'm trying to dead angle him, because the dead angles on this game are so damaging they're ridiculous. And if you ever see somebody turn their back to you as you're getting up from being stunned or knocked over, and they have Wrath of the Gods, that is exactly what they're doing. They're dead angle wrathing you, and you can't block it. And it works on the same precedence as this weapon I'm doing here. Like, that swing I just did, looks like it missed. On my screen, it shouldn't have hit, but sometimes, on their screen, it does hit. And even if they're blocking, it can clip them, because that's how it works. Right there, I get a nice clean tag on him, and if I can keep this up without being caught, even though I just got caught, and I don't know how I poised through that. I must have a lot more poise than I think I do, because I just took her. Oh, and he heals, which is great news. And I don't know about your guys, but I hate fighting in Dark and Orlando because the lock-on range is ridiculous, and it forces you to do what I'm doing right now. And don't get me wrong, I love running around with the scythe without lock-on and being an absolute nuisance, but every so often you'll do an attack you don't mean to do, like that then. I would never advocate using the standard attack with the scythe because it's too slow. The only time you want to do that is after a roll, because it's so much quicker than the standard. There's no build-up, there's no telegraphing. He just does the move. And, like, look at this, man. I'm hitting this guy and I'm not getting damage numbers. I don't get this game sometimes. And he's probably a much higher level, but it doesn't matter because I lost anyway. But thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it, and you take care now.